Josephat Maina, working with the National Endemic Diseases Control Council in Thika, as also a member of the LISTEN TWG in the county. So LISTEN started off as a BPI, the Business Process for Impact, in the year 2018, as Kiambu was part of the two counties that were selected because of the kind of the context that would be able to allow the use of the learnings from Kiambu to be used in other counties. So after that, it transitioned into LISTEN, that is a local innovation scale through enterprise network. So basically, it's trying to use naturally existing groups at the community level to be able to offer health and HIV-related services. So those natural existing formations, we call them the communities of practice. They're not groups that we have formed. They are groups that we met existing on the ground, structures that are already organized and functional. And so we thought we could also utilize them to also meet our targets for HIV. So basically, for all the CPs, it was because they are either touch points or service delivery points for our target population. We have the Bodaboda Riders. Bodaboda Riders is one of our CPs. We have the Maisha Youth, that is young people and adolescents and young people. We also have male champions, who are men who have been brought together different ages to be able to target men in the communities. We also have Youth Advisory Council for Health, that is YACH, as well as the newest one, that is Teenage Mothers CPs, that addresses issues of teen pregnancies, GBV, and other related issues. So we have different levels, starting from the community, that is level 1. If there's something that needs to be addressed that cannot be addressed at the first level, we go to level 2. So there is what we call the linkage. The attachment is what I'm calling the linkage. So the linkage will be offering support to level 1. So level 2 will be offering support to level 2. So we are talking basically of, like, for example, the sub-county health management team. There's what the sub-county health management team can be able to support the level 1 with. From that point, there is the county health management team. That is another level that you could link to depending on the kind of need that is there and who are able to address it. From that point, we have the innovation team that works at a higher level, so that they can be able to oversee and offer technical support and even mobilize resources for the communities of practice. So what we do is, during the initial meeting with the CPs, we try and establish what their priorities are and what their activities are, see how we can be able to plug in health issues and HIV-related issues. From that point, we try and establish if they need support to move forward. Like, for example, if we can talk about the Bodaboda CP, we realized that they needed something to do with the police support because of traffic rules and issues of theft and violence of the motorbikes. So we can be able to link them up to offices of the county or the national government, so that they can be able to get support from those other levels. So they are based on the needs and the aspirations of the communities of practice, and then we can be able to link them up with the relevant offices for support. So basically, when you look at, like, for example, we can mention about the male champions. For them, they were just male organizations trying to support issues of savings, entrepreneurship, and other men-related issues. But when we came in, we plugged in HIV and we plugged in health. So moving forward, we've realized that we could also use the same structures to be able to address more than the objectives that they had. Like, for example, we've been able to register the men to NHIF. We've been able to even help them to be able to even be able to save, and to an extent of even be able to start their own businesses, which was part of their aspiration. So basically what you're doing is to be able to harness or to enhance the probabilities of those those community-based organizations reaching their targets. Like, for example, if we talk about the Bodabodas, they had issues with the police and violation of the traffic rules. So we were able to engage them with Red Cross for purposes of training them. We were able to link them up with the traffic police to be able to support them with issues of how do we address issues of accidents, how do we address issues of police violence against the Bodaboda, and to be able to get a way of establishing who are the real and the innocent Bodabodas against those who are coming and using the Bodaboda for other vices. Yes. So as we move along, we have something that we are calling organic growth. You come interact with the community. You are able to identify other issues that could be handled using the LISTEN or the HCD process. So as you go along and you collect other issues that you could be able to use other organizations to be able to remedy, then you go along collecting them and working with them to be able to have those collaborations to be able to achieve the objectives of both LISTEN and the objectives of the community that you have collected along the way. The highs have always been the activities that have been supported by Listen. Those ones have always been a very great experience. The lows have been when we have things that we want to do, but then maybe because of one reason or the other, we've not been able to achieve those objectives. Okay. But we still continue working, and we have a will to make sure that that is achieved. So if we can take, for example, a sports day that we had with Bodaboda in Ruiru, we were able to bring on board the traffic police, insurance companies, we were able to bring healthcare workers, we were able to bring insurance companies to be able to come and establish what they can be able to do to support the Bodaboda community. And from that point, even after leaving, we have known that those referrals, those linkages are continuing to work. And every time that you get positive feedback after an activity, it's always something that makes you very happy and excited. So every time there is development, there is new issues when you go to a different level. So from where I sit, I know that as much as we've enhanced the capacity of our CPs, there is still need for us to be able to develop further, depending on the kind of circumstances that now are new from where we've come to where we are. So I think for capacity enhancement and to be able to listen to them more, to be able to understand where they would want, what their aspirations are in moving to the next step, so that we can be able to even move further with them.
My name is Gabriel Chege from Ruiru Bodaboda Association. I'm the Secretary General here in Ruiru Sub-County. My role as a Sub-County Secretary is to make sure that I do the documentation and I get all the Bodaboda which are registered and unregistered. So they are under my supervision. So it is my mandate, it is my obligation, it's my duty to make sure that every motorbike being alone in Ruiru Sub-County, I have the record and I have everything that entails. Actually, although we know that the Bodaboda sector, maybe perspective in quotes, people think that these are the people that have never gone to school. And I think that this is not a job like any other job. But actually, we do respect this job. It is a job that we feed our kids, we feed our families. Yeah, it caters all of our needs. The issues that we normally came around is about the, maybe say, issues like traffic. Yeah. So when we talk about the traffic, generally, we talk about the police and what have you. So following the traffic issues, whereby we heard that people that have been maybe using the road, wrong side of the road as a rider, because they don't have adequate training from the maybe NTSA and the people that deal with the traffic. We have now economic instability. So whereby that we need to know that our rider, as far as they get money every day, most of our riders, they don't do saving. So we try to link up with the companies and with the people that they train about the cooperatives, the Office of Registrar, the gender, yeah, to make sure that our riders are being trained on how to save, to do saving on a daily basis. Then we have another issue of acquiring the driving license, because based on our mind that most of our riders, they don't have driving license, we make sure that we link with the people and the sponsors that they can be able to facilitate us to get driving licenses. Then we have an issue pertaining health. When we talk about the health, we talk about the health in general. Actually, on our sector, we are affected by health because kila wakati tuko nje, we are outside, maybe mafua, yeah, homa, coughing, we have issues with accidents. So we try to liaise much with our CACs so that when we visit any dispensary or any hospital, like Ruiru, we have Ruiru here, health center, so we liaise with our CAC. So when a rider visits the hospital, maybe of any difference, may has a problem with he's been affected by the cold, maybe he has a problem, maybe an accident. So we liaise so that that rider will not dwell much before being cared for. As per now, the registration that we have in Ruiru Sub-County, we have around 40,000 riders in Ruiru Sub-County, but because now we are divided into two sub-counties, we have now Ruiru and we have Kitorai. It was been gazetted just another day. It's another sub-county. So in Ruiru Sub-County now we remain with 8,000 riders. I think that before we had people like NAC, before we had people, now it's called NCCD, before we had people like Listen, yeah, accessing maybe like the hospital. You don't have anyone to link with because you know no one in the hospital. When you talk a matter of maybe people to be trained on SGBVs, we don't have professionals. So actually, despite we know maybe a little bit of it, but we need to rise with a person who is professional. So before that, we did not have anyone to link with. But when they come in, we collaborated together. We have been able now to access every facility, maybe hospitals, maybe the professionals that bills people, maybe people dealing with the bonds, yeah, and certainly the health services as well. Then even acquiring the condoms, yeah. Now we can access the condom easily because through our CAC we can get a condom. So from our office, so our members, they get our condoms from our office. So they come, we give them the condoms, then they take them to their pick points. Issue on security and local administration, we have dealt it much because we have tried to work hand in hand with our security officers and the local association as well, the policemen, the OCPD, the OCS. We have a good link and relationship with them. Actually, even sometimes back, we tried to organize a tournament between the Bodaboda sector and the policemen. So we have tried to make sure that we link together and to create a rapport between our Bodaboda riders and the police officers. The greatest success that we can talk about is that since we were trained on maybe most of the workshops that we are called upon to attend, we have been trained on many things, and then we were trained on HCDs, the human-centered design, whereby we can come up with a design as a Bodaboda in locally association, a locally area that you are, that will not affect your daily basics and what you are doing daily. So we are able to make sure that because HCD is concerned and is more concerned in riders, what can we do? So we decided now we can try to train our riders because we deal more so with the chairmen, with the officials from the pick points. So we come up with a design whereby can we start saving? And since they came in, we start saving. And now we are proudly feeling good that we have saved and we have been in a position to acquire a piece of land of 5 acres. And you can see it is here, you can see the post, it is here, the 5 acres that we are having as a riders. So that is phase 1. And now we are targeting to get more and more lands for our riders so that you can acquire more and more. So if the rapport can be created between the listen and the Bodaboda can be strong enough, I know we've been in a position to achieve our goals and objectives because at the end of the day, we need economic stability to our riders. And then we need support because most of the cases we are not in a position to reach the government offices because the rapport is not still that strong. So when we are in a position to reach those government offices, we'll be able to acquire more and more facility and economic stability. We train our riders, be given some of a help that may be acquired by the rider. And so, let me say much on what we do, but as the riders, actually we have been accused, most of that's been associated with the teenage pregnancies, that we are the cause. But actually, sometimes yes, sometimes no, because I believe that a genuine rider and a person who is trained, he has a brother and has a sister. So as well that you can done to that child who is a minor is the same way that can be done to your sister and brother. So I believe those people that they are maybe so-called, you say that they are the people that are spreading the virus, maybe the people sleeping with small girls, about the HIV and AIDS, they are the people that have been affected most. No, that's not true actually, because I believe the riders that we are having now, actually in our area that in the rural sub-county, we don't have such cases because we have trained our riders. Through Listen, it has come in. We have trained our riders. We have done an advocacy on the teenage pregnancies. We have done an advocacy on how to seek health services, on the HIV and AIDS, the dangers, the impacts that are there. After you have done, maybe you have raped a girl or maybe you have slept with a child. What are the dangers? What are the impacts later on? So I believe that the riders that we are having, despite maybe every market has its own madness person. So in our sector, I mean not that say that 100% we are good, but we have those characters, few characters that we have not been in a position to reach them, that they have such behaviors. So and then when you talk about the family, our family, they get advantage as being a rider because sometimes if your wife is sick and based that you are a rider and you have a good rapport with people from the government or from people from the health services, you've been able to link them and then you go through without making a query in the hospital and then you get returned and you get back home. Okay. Yeah. For the future, I believe the things that we need is that maybe those partners that are coming in to support our ideas. So the ideas that we are having as riders, no, let the ideas be supported as we want. Yeah, because like now we are having like on 6th of April, we shall have an AGM, the Bodaboda riders meeting for all riders. Maybe it can be if we be in a position to reach out the 8,000. But if we, I think it might be difficult to reach out 8,000, but we may be in a position to reach out 500 and maybe to 1,000 riders. So if maybe that meeting can be supported, and we advocate on different areas, on health matters, yeah, on HIV and the SGBVs, we put those all riders together. But you cannot put those riders together without a financial support. So we need a financial support so that we can reach them out. Yeah, and the future of these people, we need them to get everyone to be economically stable, yeah, to be educated in future, and then to be reached out from their peak points. Health services, we need the reflector jackets, we need good jackets for the riding motorbike, we need helmets, you need bodaboda. Those people that are still doing working with financial offices, whereby they are not in a position to get their own motorbike, they are still loaning. So how can we get a cheapest one for these riders? Yeah, even if they're going to be given on a loan way, but a cheapest one, because the companies that we are having now, you end up paying 300,000, whereas a motorbike is 150,000. So it is double of the price. As I've told you before, that we have linked together with the security team, the OCPD, the OCS. Yeah, so a matter of security of our own people. Why did we come up with the idea of having the identification plate number rather than the plate that it is there for the NTSA? So we decided to come up with our identification plate number so that we know who is this rider that is working on our jurisdiction. Yeah, the security of our people, because there before, when we did not have this the identification plate, we had a lot of cases of theft, yeah, snatching of phones, snatching of women's wallets, yeah, raping. We had such issues, but when we come up with the idea of coming up with the identification plate number, those issues went doomed. So now we don't have such issues that snatching and whatever, because those people who are not genuine, they are not being registered as a rider. Because if one, you don't have a pick point. So we need to know where do you operate from. If you operate from Gatongora, Ward Code Gatongora, which stage, who is your chairman? Yeah, the identification plate number has the information, the QR code has the information of the place that you come from, your ID number, your pick point, your chairman, and also your number, your telephone number. So we have been able to locate everyone, where do you come from. Yeah, there's sometimes back that you are told that Bodaboda should not be working beyond 9 p.m. due to the insecurity. But when we sat down with our leaders, we sat down with our members, and we come up with an idea of identification plate number, and then it become a negotiation between us and the security team. So when we sat down and we come up with the idea, we were allowed now to be operating even at night, because we know this person who is operating has an identification plate. So we not have issues on theft. We don't have issues of rape. We don't have issues that people have run away with someone's change. Yeah. So due to that, we are now in a position to work 24 hours, day and night. There are those people who are working at night. There are those people working at daytime. So depending, but it is not, does not have maybe, it is not compulsory for you maybe to work day and night. So it's just a personal perspective. I think the future is on our hands. If we work together and collaborate together, we'll be in a position to help a rider. If we collaborate and we put a strong foundation, I think even the future will be better for a rider. If we talk a matter of health services, how can a Bodaboda rider seek the health services in one way or another? Because it happened that whereby, but in most cases, they don't visit the health services because of the line. They cannot be in a position to make a line, because you need to look for a very daily bread. How will you stay there? Yeah, the quay, you have more than 30 people in front of you, and the person, you are their breadwinner. So what you are supposed to do, then when you check is we have such a line, you rush to the near chemist, and maybe you take a medication. That's all. But remember that when you take a medication, you don't know what is disturbing you. So you have not treated the disease as well. So the future is there that we can be put in line with the health services. We work together. Yeah, despite maybe we have those issues that whereby that a rider will visit a hospital and then we get a link. Can it be compulsory? We don't have to call anyone so that to get a link. So when you see a rider making a line or on a fallen making a quay, you let him to be treated and then get back to job, because this job is not that easy. And this job it is very hard. It's very hard because we work with time. Kuna ile masaa tunasema it is rush hour, morning hours. Maybe you are falling sick, you're not feeling well. You need to visit in a dispensary near with you, but you're not in a position to see the doctor due to the line. So if we work together, if you bring us more and more activities and you support our activity as well that we are having in our area of jurisdiction, I think the future will be better for every rider, and we'll feel that is accommodated. Even the listen, we feel that has done something to the community as well. In my office here we are, it is around the Ruru Stadium, and we still have some sex workers that are around here. So they sometimes pass in the office, they took a condom. Then we have our riders. When you have meetings in our offices, we have meeting in our hall here, the social hall, we distribute condoms for them. So, and this one has helped us so much, because when we have condoms, actually even the riders feel they are safe. Because rather than having contraceptives like maybe be injected, your wife be injected, it is best one to do family planning. Yeah. So this best one for my family planning. There are those people who come meet for family planning. Yeah, they say they use it for the family planning. And we are happy when you see a rider that's having a condom with him and they know how to use the condom, how to dispose their condom. So we are happy for that. That we have been able, we have advocated on the condom use. They know how to use the health services. They know how to use the condom, how to carry a condom, how to care for it, how to dispose it. So we are happy for that, because we are minimizing the HIV and AIDS risk in our people.